The Great Reset will expand government and suppress liberty. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this piece written by Ron Paul about the Great Reset. Now, the Great Reset is about expanding government power and suppressing liberty. His opinion piece. I think that sums it up to a T. There are lots of, nice sounding goals and statements that they're putting forward, that Schwab is putting forward. But fundamentally, it is about increasing government power and encroachment into our lives and, well, suppressing and pretty much destroying our liberty. At least here in Australia, is there even a liberty movement? We don't have the same culture as over in America, where it's inherent in the formation of their nation. It's a little different. World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab has proposed using the overreaction to coronavirus to launch a worldwide Great Reset. This Great Reset is about expanding government power and suppressing liberty worldwide. I keep thinking back to, other great movements, Great Leap Forward, or the Cultural Revolution, or, Pol Pot's Year Zero, and all the 5-year plans, all this centrally planned attempts to try and control an emergent system, which is the economy. And in the end, it is just the average person that cops it through every single time. They'll sell you all the snake oil. They'll tell you, everything will be good. It'll be great. You'll be voting away your freedoms for this hope of a little more security, a little more safety, a little more certainty. People are scared to even have to be self-reliant. They want the state to take care of them. Schwab envisions an authoritarian system where big business act as a partner with government. Have we seen that somewhere before historically? And no, that wasn't brought forward by a German leader. That particular leader was Austrian, and that is not very different at all, to be honest, coming from someone who's had German and Austrian parents. Big business would exercise its government-granted monopoly powers to maximize value for stakeholders instead of shareholders. Stakeholders include the government, international organizations, the business itself, and civil society. So if perhaps you might have the wrong opinion, could you fall out of civil society? We've seen large organizations refuse, banks here in Australia refuse to provide service to people based on their political position. Of course, government bureaucrats and politicians, together with powerful special interests, will decide who are and who are not stakeholders. What is in stakeholders' interests and what steps corporations must take to maximize stakeholder value. People's own wishes are not the priority. So, this is it. The problem with this is it's removing the impetus for our elected officials to actually represent us. I would advocate for a reduction in government outreach, and the government that we have the most interaction with is the one that's closest to us, and that should have the most influence on our lives, so we have more of a direct say. That's the complete opposite of this. And the problem is you can see people running off, bureaucrats running off to Davos and taking part in these forums and these meetings and these reports, sitting on these panels, civil servants feeling all special and like they're important, and then that thinking just coming through down all levels of government, even to our local city councils. Look at the Strong Cities Initiative in Melbourne. Look at all of these sustainable drivers that have appeared in all of our town plans all around the country. Are they listening to the citizens? That's the thing. It's not the popular, not the popular approach anymore, is it, to actually listen to the people? That democracy invention, that's so last century. We need to go back. The Great Reset will dramatically expand the surveillance state via real-time tracking. It will also mandate that people receive digital certificates in order to travel, and even technologically technology implanted in their bodies to monitor them. Included in Schwab's proposal for surveillance is his idea to use brain scans and nanotechnology to predict, and if necessary prevent, individuals' future behavior. I mean, there is some rather sci-fi futuristic suggestions coming out of Schwab's potential utopia, although it has some very terrifying concepts. And fundamentally, it is an encroachment on people's personal lives. And the thing is, there'll be people that are cheering for these type of things. There'll be people that are cheering. You know the type. The Karens that ring up and get people, if you have more people over at your house than the state allows, they'll happily dob you in. This is why anyone who's talking about manufacturing and innovation in Australia, never going to happen, because no one's going to want it in their backyard. No one's going to want to allow someone to start up a business from scratch in their garage and make a bit of noise. This means that anyone whose brain is scanned could have his Second Amendment and other rights violated because a government bureaucrat determines the individual is going to commit a crime. So it's almost like thought crime. We're looking at some dystopian sci-fi themes here, sadly. Almost like 1984 is being used as a guidebook. The system of tracking and monitoring could be used to silence those expressing dangerous political views, such as that the Great Reset violates our God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Great Reset involves a huge expansion of the welfare state via universal basic income. I'm just going to turn on this RTX voice here. There we go. I mean, universal basic income. The only way that's going to work, UBI, is if you fire every civil servant that's propping up the welfare state. I can't see that happening. This can help ensure compliance with the Great Reset's authoritarian measures. That's it. They get you hooked. They're like a drug dealer. They give you the free money, a free sample, and you get hooked to it. You get dependent on it. Then you have to use it. And then, oh, sorry, you liked a video on this HeiseSays channel that was critical of the Great Reset and our glorious leader Schwab 15 years ago. Now your money has been taken away from you. Sorry. It will also be very expensive. The resulting increase in government debt will not be seen as a problem by people who believe in modern monetary theory. See, this is the problem. MMT, it's very dangerous with regards to the fact that it leads to, again, more state growth, more government control, more intervention in your lives. Anyone who's putting that forward needs to realize you're going to sacrifice people's liberties. Anyone who's advocating for MMT, it's dangerous. It is very dangerous. This is the latest version of the fairy tale that deficits don't matter as long as the federal government monetizes the debt. The Great Reset ultimately will fail for the same reason all other attempts by government to control the market fail. As Ludwig von Mises showed, government interference in the marketplace distorts the price system. Oh, we're seeing that. We're definitely seeing that here in Australia. I'd say we're seeing that in our housing market significantly here. And who's bearing the burden of that? All of the younger generations. Prices are how information about the value of goods and services related to other goods and services is conveyed to market actors. Government interference in the marketplace disturbs the signals set by prices, leading to an oversupply of certain goods and services and an undersupply of others. The lockdowns show the dangers of government control over the economy and our personal lives. Lockdowns have increased unemployment, caused many small businesses to close, and led to more substance abuse, domestic violence, and suicides. We're told the lockdowns are ordered because of a virus that poses no great danger to a very large percentage of the American public. Yet, instead of adopting a different approach, politicians are doubling down on the failed policies of masks and lockdowns. Well, they're too far committed now. This is the thing. They'll lose face if they turn away from this. They've paid the price, they've destroyed the businesses, they've destroyed people's lives, so they have to double down. What's more concerning to me is that lockdowns will now become a repeating strategy to deal with these issues. That's going to become a part of business, guys. You're going to have to plan for lockdowns in your business. Meanwhile, big tech companies, which are already often acting as parts of government, silence anyone who questions the official line regarding the threat of the pandemic or the effectiveness of lockdowns, masks, and vaccines. The dangerous response to COVID is just the latest example of how those who give up liberty for safety or health will end up unfree, unsafe, and unhealthy. Instead of a great reset of authoritarianism, we need a great rebirth of liberty. And I agree with Ron Paul 100% there on that. We really do need a great rebirth of liberty. And in some ways, I would argue that it is starting to happen. For some people, this is probably the first time they've been politically activated and interested. And more people can take an interest in this and discuss these things sensibly and reasonably. Then you can shift more people and the Overton window will slightly shift. The greatest threat we face in the coming century, and for our children and children's children, is a dramatic shift to the hard left and a theory of authoritarian government intervening in people's lives, because that has never, ever led to anything other than death and despair. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to help me cobble together the different things I find around the internet, you can support us via joining the channel on YouTube or Patreon using any of the affiliate links you find down below from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.